And if you watch my videos, you'll notice that a lot. Um, Now, that's that. Um, so, feet. Now, the one issue I've had with wires, I've had one time where a raccoon ate babies through the wire. I was devastated. Um, but since then, I make sure to offer the babies, a plank. For as long as they're not able to get on the shelf easily, I add a plank. Um, you see it in the recent videos, like you can see there's a plank in the corner. Even if it's not there, I added it after the video. Um, but I make sure to add that. And generally speaking, they're gonna sleep on there. If somehow they feel threatened from below, they're gonna go stand there. If they can climb on the shelf, they'll go there. When they can climb on the shelf easily and reliably, I remove that, because then it starts keeping dirty. Um, because, as I said, shelves and planks, they get gross, especially when there's a lot of bunnies. But when they're too young, I provide an extra blank for them. Um, and since that, I've had any issue with predators. Not through the wire, anyways. I've had issues with squirrels eating through the bags of pellets, but that's a different issue. you know. Um, and yes, I've caught a fox in one of my traps before, because we had to trap the raccoons to move them elsewhere, and I caught a fox. So, I'm in the middle of the forest. I'm in the middle of the territory of predators. And there's a lot of cats too, and cats will kill bunnies. At least the ones that are outdoors. My cat really, like, pet cats are not necessarily going to be an issue, but outdoor cats that hunt, yeah, they'll kill bunnies. Um, so yeah, that's about it. For me, wire is the correct answer. Now, as I said, I have flat bottom cages. I have the one cage that has the texture on it, even though it's a wire. In total, I have 8. I have 8 flat bottom cages. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 that are wire. And I move bunnies all the time accordingly. Uh, Fluffy bunnies that have freshly been shaved, they can go on the flat bottom with a litter box. No issue. But once they get fluffy enough that they start accumulating particles and wetness in their fur, they have to go on wire. Soma, who has sore hucks issues, has to be on flat bottom. Um, as I said, I don't like putting babies on flat bottom. Sometimes if I bring a baby in my room for a particular reason, um, that's a case by case basis, and that's just the one bunny. I rarely bring a whole litter in my room. It happens, but it's rare, and in those cases, it's because it's the best. It's what's best for that litter. Um, in this situation, like if it's the middle of winter, it's too cold. Um, then I might bring them inside. If there's one that has a health issue I want to keep an eye on, then I'll bring inside. Um, if they're too fluffy, like you're getting really too fluffy and I need to shave them, I bring them inside. So as I said, like, this is why Grisna has been in the flat bottom cage for 2 days, and you've seen how gross she is already. And I keep the cage clean. Okay? There's a litter box, and the rest of the cage is clean. Just it happens really fast. So, um, it's a case by case basis. It's a bunny by bunny basis. It's how many bunnies you have. It's they're all it's how much time and energy you have. Those are all questions that are like depending on you, your situation, and your bunnies. And as long as you keep that in mind, whatever type of flooring you chose for your rabbits, as long as you made it consciously knowing all the options with each of the drawbacks for each option, because all the options have drawbacks, all of them, some worse than others, you know. Um, and but sometimes, like as I said, for my friend who did continental giants, she had 15-20 pounds rabbit. You cannot put that on wire. That's just how it is. So what else is there, I've also seen some breeders, mass breeders, having them on grates, which is like a wire mesh, but the sections are larger. My friend had that for a while, but what happens is that they're actually kind of sharp on the edges. And what happens is the feet will sink in between the two pieces of metal, and it's eventually going to cause issues. So for her, she tried it, having grates. It was terrible for her rabbits. So the spaced planks was better for her, but it had its drawbacks. Um, so, my bunnies are on wires, especially my babies. And that's knowing all my options and all the drawbacks. And for me, I feel it's the best. It's the best for them. Not even for me. Like, if it wasn't that my health was an issue, I could be cleaning all the time, But overall, because of how many I have, and like all the drawbacks from the other methods, I really think that wire mesh is the right answer for those cases. But then again, I keep an eye on my bunnies. I check on my bunnies. If I see an issue, I change things accordingly. That's what matters most. It doesn't matter what pet you have, okay? It could be a sugar glider. It could be a squirrel. It could be a cat, a dog. If you notice that the environment you have your pet in is causing issues, it is your responsibility to consider what other options there are and choose the best solution for the animal. Not for you, for the animal. Go looking at all the cons, all the pros, and choosing what's best. So I hope I cleared up a lot of preconceptions. Like, you can't just assume that wire is bad, okay? I know on like pro animal welfare people and extremists in those sections of the world, of the population, they're gonna all say that wire is bad no matter what. They're wrong. They're flat out wrong. And that's because they don't consider all the issues. They just decided wire is wrong without knowing what other issues not being on wire can bring. And as I said, heavy breeds do not put on wire. So if I had heavier bunnies, they would not be on wire. So anyways, preconceptions, assuming, you cannot know, okay? You have to wonder what is best for the animal, for that person, for her situation. So I hope I helped clear that up. I hope I helped people understand my choice for my bunnies, because what matters is the welfare of my bunnies. And I chose this as the best, okay? I'm not perfect, okay? My cages are not perfect. The situation of my cages is not perfect. The more bunnies you have, the harder it is to be perfect, you know? And even with just one or two bunnies, it's impossible to be perfect. Um, so you have to go in a compromise for what's best according to your solution. And yes, I want to build new cages that are improved, especially the feeders. I have the issue where the babies go inside the feeders. I have a better design that I've made, but I've not finished those cages. I've just had so many issues with my health this year that I have not been able to get hardly anything done. Um, so I've not been able to work on the cages. I've not been able to work on the flooring of the gazebo because I'm making storm flooring for the gazebo, for the bunny gazebo. Um, and I did a good part last year, but I've not worked on it at all this year. I've just not had the energy for it, the health and energy for it. Um, so look, my best isn't great, but I do what I can for the sake of my bunnies. And anyone who buys a bunny from me, out of everyone, I've only had any one real issue with one customer. And in my opinion, that customer, you know, when you deal with a lot of people, you meet a lot of people, you're bound to find those few people that something happens, you know. Um, so, you know, that's just how life is at that point. Uh, so I'm gonna keep shaving her. I'm probably gonna do behind the ears and then make sure her bottom is clear. And I'll do the rest tomorrow because I'm getting really tired. You can probably tell from how I'm struggling to talk. Um, but yeah. Uh, so I think I said everything I had to say. I'm sorry for mumbling. I'm sorry for repeating myself. You know, my brain's not there right now. So, but I wanted to make a video about it. So if you sat through the entire thing, wow, you're amazing. And I'm sorry it took so long. But yeah, so bye bye. Floofy ears, bye bye.